Hi, I'm Perron, and I'm here with my friend Douwe Van Der Zee, who is visiting from South Africa. We're at the Course in Miracles conference in Vegas together, and since then Douwe and I were both traveling, and now he's come to my St. Paul home to visit, and we've been having quite a bit of conversation already. And our conversation yesterday kind of got me on a certain focus. And so when I went to bed last night, I keep A Course of Love by my bed, and I'll kind of do this sometimes. It was like, what should I be aware of for tomorrow? Because I knew we were going to do this dialogue. And I opened it to chapter 12 of Treatise on the New, which is called A Prelude to the Dialogues. And there was this section, I just thought, I've never done this in any of my dialogues, but I wanted to read because I think this is so perfect for what I at least imagine will be somewhat the focus of this dialogue. This is akin to being stranded in a foreign land, with none of the ways you learned how to adapt in the past being of service to you. That is how new this is, and more. But the difference is that you are not alone, and that you are not in a foreign land, but returned to your home of origin. And there were a lot of things in this prelude that struck me from the conversations that we've been having. But I thought that last paragraph about being stranded in a foreign land was so like to what you've experienced here, and yet it all has worked out beautifully. And that's kind of, one of the ideas of the new, that without struggle and without effort, if you're open, everything's going to work out. And I haven't always found that to be true, but, that's just, and I think partially because I have such an interest in the human part of all this, that sometimes these things that make it sound like it will all be great don't resonate so much with me. But you have found something in this voyage that you've made, and really so have I, because it was kind of challenging for me to go and do the travels that I did too, and yet they were wonderful. So I thought maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself and your experience and how this is new for you.
Yes,
if you would like to.
And I could relate to what you said, that this everything being great and working out, you don't always resonate with that.
Yeah.
Because that's the experience I've had for a long time. I was getting more and more depressed and frustrated, and nothing seemed to work out. And I've been doing Course in Miracles, and I've been reading Course of Love, and I really worked hard on the first 3 days of the dialogues. And I realized after reading the course for the 5th or 6th time or something, that I actually had not accepted Jesus, that I had a deep resentment against Jesus because of all the stuff we've been fed as children. And then the accept yourself,
yes,
that I also had great difficulty with. And then the abundance, that was basically an outflow of those. So I was really at a stage where all this talk of things working out and all this greatness, I didn't know anymore. And then, having been quite active on the Facebook site of the Course of Love, I one day just had a feeling I want to go to America. I'd never had any interest in America, well, apart from reading novels and so on. But I felt I wanted to meet you, sorry, and the other people participating on the site. And I thought the conference would be an ideal place to meet at least some of you. So I put that on the Facebook site. I said I feel like going to America.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2 days later I got a Skype call in which I was offered a sponsorship for the conference. And 2 or so more days later I was offered a sponsorship for my hotel room. So I knew, no, this is right. I didn't have any money, but I bought an airplane ticket on my credit card, and I after I'd done that, after I'd made the decision, I had such an amazing sense of peace and an absolute knowing that this is the right thing to do. So yes, I went, and it was absolutely amazing. It's almost difficult to describe, but the abundance, I don't know how much detail I should go, but at the conference itself, as you know, we had a sharing session where there was a discussion about giving and receiving. And when it became a general discussion, I said, yes, that's been one of my problems in life. I find it very difficult to receive. I seem to find it quite easy to give. I always give tips and that sort of thing, and I give a lot of myself to the children when playing with them and so on. But I got in touch with that deep fear of receiving. Yes, that word just came out, fear of receiving.
Yeah.
And the next moment, I just get handed a whole lot of money. People have been collecting surreptitiously.
Oh.
And I was completely overwhelmed. But yet at a deep level, I knew that it was perfect, that it had to be. In fact, that money covered my whole trip through America. I was just going to see a few people, basically. But I ended up, so much happened. And it was an amazing experience. It's difficult to describe the thing. So much happens at a feeling level that's, yeah. It was all so fulfilling. Everybody was so helpful, and everything just worked out and was given. And so it was indeed, I mean, I was coming into a new world.
Yeah.
America. I think yes, while I was with Elizabeth, I on the radio played Dvorak's Symphony, A New World. But for a month now, I came basically to get clarity. I had a lot of confidence in what the dialogues, what Jesus says in the dialogues, that you can't remember the exact words. You get to know yourself in the process of dialogue, of sharing, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I discovered a lot more about me.
Yes.
And me being both the small and the large M, and in unity and relationship, basically. So I have a lot more clarity now of what I want, what I really want to do, and what I am going to do. Still don't know all the details, but yes, it's been a very fulfilling experience.
Yeah. I found exactly that same thing in dialogue, that I not only do I get to know you, I get to know me better. You know, it's sort of like it works both ways, you know, and that's what we're told throughout, you know, this giving and receiving is one.
Yes.
It's so amazing. But this, I'm going to go back to this because at the beginning it says, welcome, my new brothers and sisters in Christ, to the creation of the future through the sustainability of Christ consciousness. Today we join together to birth the new. From this time on, I will respond to you through direct communication or dialogue rather than through learning. As with all new means of doing anything, this dialogue must have a starting point. This is it. And this whole thing is kind of about that movement, this whole thing that I turned to last night, from, you know, being learning beings to being in dialogue, which is all about sharing and union and relationship. And this is what I have found that we're doing with, I mean, everyone that you're talking about, having visited, except for Elizabeth, who you met at the conference, was from our Facebook group. You know, so in this, you know, small world of the internet way, we've become friends before even meeting each other. And the amazing thing about you that I found, I was so attracted to you because of your beautiful way of expressing yourself and your willingness to be vulnerable. And that has really touched my heart and made me really want to meet you. I was so excited to meet you in Vegas, and then we had all of a half hour, so I'm so glad.
But a very good half hour.
It was a good half hour.